Alrighty, yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to how 989 Sports beat NFL Madden and changed sports gaming, a retrospective. Let's get right into it, though. 989 Sports, ooh-wee. Ain't heard that name in a minute.
For the last 14 years and counting, we've only known one company to make NFL licensed video games, and that is Electronic Gimme Your Wallet Arts with NFL Madden. And we've only known 2K and EA competing in the basketball simulation market for just about the same amount of time. But what if I told you at one point there was a third company that was releasing every year, competing head to head with EA and 2K for NFL and NBA sim supremacy? Now, depending on when you were born, you may already know who I'm talking about, but for the ones who don't know, I'm talking about 989. Yes, 989 Studios, aka 989 Sports, was that third runner in the race in sports gaming at one point, releasing across 4 different sports with MLB, NBA, NFL, NHL titles, and even had their hand in college sports with basketball and football titles as well. These games were just as—
I ain't gonna hold y'all, they basketball, nah, I ain't gonna say they basketball, they NBA games was okay. The NBA shootout was okay, but they college basketball games, them shits was trash, nigga. I'm sorry, but if you ever played Final Four 2000 or 2001, yo, them games straight butt cheeks, bro. Bro, you had to shoot with the X button, bro. Who the fuck shoots with the X button, bro? Type of preschool video game y'all got going on here where I'm shooting with the goddamn X button. The X button is to pass the ball with, not to shoot with. I had to change the controllers, bro, and it was so weird because every time I try to change the controllers, the shit was so fucking weird, bro. But nah, man, 989 Sports, they other games was cool, but they college basketball games, bro, that shit was terrible, bro. Then they had the audacity to have a shot meter, bro. They had a fucking shot meter, and I gotta press the X button. Come on, dog. 989 Sports, what the fuck was y'all doing?
Prominent as EA or 2K was in my formative years when I was introduced to gaming, having such a large footprint in the sports gaming genre from the mid-90s and early 2000s, I honestly don't know what happened to 989 Sports. They were here for a while and then they weren't, like gone in an instant. I'd like to get to the bottom of what happened to the studio that gave EA a run for their money and made them sweat. Let's look at some history, shall we? But before we do that, go ahead and hit that like button and slap that subscribe button for your boy. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Hope you stick around. It's a good time, I promise. And buckle up, it's gonna be a long one. Let's get into it.
Oh my god.
Now, before 989 became what we know it to be, it went through quite a few changes in the beginning. The company was originally founded as Sony Interactive Studios America. Wow, that is a mouthful. In this first iteration of the studio, they developed quite a few titles for the PlayStation 1. Most notable names like Twisted Metal 1 and 2, also Spawn Eternal. They also took their first steps into establishing themselves with sports video games, launching an insane 11 sports titles between 1995 and 1998. As Sony Interactive Studios America, the star out of that army of releases definitely was NFL Game Day. Met with critical acclaim, being dubbed as the possible Madden killer. Launched in December 1995, Game Day sold well by the end of 1996. It totaled over 1 million copies sold. And NFL Game Day 97 picked up right where its predecessor left off, selling 350,000 copies in just its first week alone.
Niggas was really playing
Met with critical acclaim again, critics making bold claims like, this is the best football game ever. By their third installment, NFL Game Day 98 made it clear that this was no fluke. Sony was a powerhouse to be feared in the NFL sim market. Game Day 98 didn't only keep the streak alive, it proved that Sony's PlayStation 1 had power that other consoles could only dream of at the time, being the first fully realized 3D gaming experience to the consumer, with gameplay performance thought to be impossible to do in the 90s. It was also named runner-up for Sports Game of the Year and second for PlayStation Game of the Year behind Final Fantasy. The Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences nominated NFL Game Day 98 for Console Sports Game of the Year, Console Game of the Year, and Outstanding Achievement in Software Engineering. By September 1998, Game Day 98 sold over 1.4 million copies. And we can't forget to mention their NCAA Game Breaker series for college football was performing pretty well also, along with Game Days. So with that being said, this is very impressive. I know 1.4 million copies doesn't sound like a lot compared to the numbers of today of what games sell now, but we also got to keep in mind and keep the perspective that this is the 90s we're talking about. Okay, this is a highly competitive time period where gaming was still a relatively new thing, or at least household gaming. You know, consoles were still relatively new to people gaming inside their homes and not being at arcades. And so everybody was popping up with developer studios. Everybody was trying to get into their hand into this new market that was gaming. We also have to understand and put in perspective that NFL Game Day launched in 1995. NFL Madden, the first NFL Madden, launched in 1988. So we're talking about a game performing pretty well for its very first time out, or its very first initial games, going up against a franchise that established itself 7 years prior to it even being created is a feat that we can't sleep on as whatsoever. So Game Day and Sony have established themselves definitely as a true competitor against NFL Madden. After a very successful 3 years of development for the PlayStation 1, the studio decided to go defunct as Sony Interactive Studios America shortly after 1997 and relaunched as 989 Studios in April 1998. And thank God for that rebrand, because I mean, Jesus, that is a mouthful. My God, that is too much to say. Now, at this point, there clearly was a lot of positives for 989 in the football market. We do have to acknowledge, while raising its star in the NFL sim market, 989's other sports titles were not performing very well. They actually were performing average at best. While making EA nervous with Game Day, their MLB series was struggling to compete with EA's baseball series. Yeah, their baseball series was terrible. NBA Shootout was playing catch up to EA's NBA Live series.
You want to know what's ironic? You want to know what's so ironic? They made terrible baseball games back then, but now they the only baseball game out on the market right now. Yes, if y'all don't know, 989 Sports is the same. They rebranded to the company that now makes MLB The Show. So MLB The Show is basically a 989 Sports game, but they rebranded. So just a little heads up there. And it's crazy because back in this time frame, they baseball games were terrible. Yes, Jalen, MLB The Show came from these niggas, and they baseball games used to be terrible back then. Those were some of the worst fucking baseball games ever created. But once they rebranded and they started doing MLB The Show, they shit was goated, bro. I ain't gonna hate on them. They shit was goated because 2K and EA was really running circles around everybody when it came to the baseball. When it came to baseball, EA was running circles around everybody, but for some odd reason, For some odd reason, EA and the MLB got into some beef, and the MLB said, "Fuck y'all, y'all can't make games for us no more." I don't know what EA did, but whatever EA did, they pissed them off.
And their college basketball games, sadly, were no better.
Yeah, they
with NBA 2K lurking around the corner in '99 with the Dreamcast, that didn't help their struggles either. As far as their NHL games go, well, I mean, they were just simply bad and struggled to get to average.
I don't know about the hockey games. I never played the hockey games.
NHL games don't really sell that well today compared to FIFA, Madden, and 2K. Pretty sure it has something to do with the sport not being as popular. But I mean, hey, I don't really run into too many hockey fans. But hey, shout out to you if you are. With all that said, though, it's safe to say this studio, while succeeding, was more than likely losing a lot of money on the other titles performing so poorly. So really, what was keeping 989 afloat was their presence in the football market. Now remember that, take that, keep it in your pocket. Don't forget it. That's very important to this next segment of the video, which unfortunately is the sad ending and death of 989, and that is the 2000s. After rebranding, 989 had continued success in football simulation with NFL Game Day 99. It seemed like nothing could stop Sony and their flagship football title. 989's victory lap was in full effect. Even with EA releasing Madden 99 in full 3D finally leaving their pixelated past behind, the gap between Madden and Game Day was apparent, and EA had a lot of work to do to catch up in the new 3D football market that Sony created.
Yeah, that college football
Critics
games
calling
was
Madden's
solid.
gaming
All they
experience
games was solid.
mediocre
it was just the other
at best,
sports games
was a definite hit
it was like
to EA's long-standing
like,
reputation as the leader in NFL simulation, now running second. But this edge over the competition would be short-lived. The 90s had come to an end, and so did PlayStation 1. And so did 989 Sports. Technically, 989 merged back with Sony Computer Entertainment, but they kept using the 989 brand and name and likeness for their sports titles. Sony launching the PS2, you would think it would be more dominant for 989, but sadly, it was the opposite. The 2000s was the beginning of a very fast, slippery slope for Sony's football titles. After NFL Game Day 2000, looking at the state of the market, I think there were a handful of reasons why the 2000s didn't go so well for 989. Well, for one, NFL Game Day simply wasn't special anymore. Back in the 90s, NFL Game Day was the very first football game to go full 3D. They benefited off of beating Madden to the punch. They caught EA being complacent and forced them to play catch up. It was only a matter of time before the Tuberon devs figured out Sony's software to start innovating to get their #1 spot back, which was the problem with Madden 1998, because the devs had such a hard time adjusting to the new technology that Sony had for PlayStation 1. They couldn't figure it out in time, and they completely scrapped 1998 for a Sony PlayStation 1 release, and they came out with the same old that they've been coming out with for all that time.
So basically they doing the same shit
so
they
all
doing
EA
now, but
really
back in the
needed
90s.
was time, and they reclaimed their throne viciously with Madden 2001, getting critical.
When they dropped Madden 2001. Boy, when they dropped Madden 2001, it was over. It was over, nigga. Madden 2001, nigga, they dropped that shit, it was over. Everybody was done. 2K1 was pretty good, but Madden 2001 was the motherfucking game, dog. I'm telling you, dog. It wasn't even up for debate, nigga. It was over. It was over for everybody, bro. When Madden upgraded their graphics exponentially, it was over, nigga. This shit was amazing. It was a wrap, bro. It was a wrap, bro.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT. That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
I'm telling y'all, dog. I'm telling you, Madden 2001 was unfucking touchable that year. Cause that's when Madden took that big ass leap. I'm talking about the gameplay, everything. It wasn't just the graphics, nigga. Gameplay was better. Animations was top notch at that time frame. Bro, everything about Madden 2001, bro, was just the example of when EA Sports gave a fuck. They don't give a fuck no more. But man, did they give a fuck back then, boy. That was some of the best fucking work. Oh my God. Shout out to them niggas for the one time, man.
Acclaim, being nominated for numerous awards.
Beautiful,
GameSpot's best graphics and technical, best Nintendo 64 game, best PlayStation 2 game, best sports game. The Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences nominated Madden 2001 for console sports game of the year and game of the year. And lastly, Game Informer ranked Madden 2001 27th on their top 100 games of all time in 2001. So pretty much EA had nothing but demon time on their mind when releasing Madden 2001 and had nothing but plans to do nothing short of kicking NFL Game Days back all the way in to get that spot back. And not only that, there was a new heavy hitter in the market in the NFL 2K series, putting a lot of pressure on EA and 989 to perform. So between Madden dominating 989 on its own console platform and the PlayStation 2 and NFL 2K picking up steam on the Sega Dreamcast, Game Day relatively stayed the same in graphics and gameplay when it came to performance, which wasn't bad for the time. It just wasn't better than what Madden was doing. Game Day progressively got worse from 2001 through the last entry in the series in 2005.
He still ain't had no name,
I don't know exactly what happened to the devs or what got into them, but looking at this gameplay while making this video, honestly, it seemed like 989 just didn't care anymore.
Yeah, 989
it's giving me the same impression on how EA treats NBA Live now. Graphically, the game just looks awful as the years went by, and gameplay nowhere near to what Madden 2001 to 05 was doing. It's also important to note that Sega discontinued the Sega Dreamcast after 2001. So NFL 2K was released for all platforms all the way up till a lot of people's favorite Madden killer in NFL 2K5.
That was it for
so my hunch is that Madden mastering the 3D platform and another competitor moving to the PlayStation 2 market, somewhere along the line, Sony and 989 Sports really just said, fuck it, and gave up on the sports market altogether. Like we said earlier, their other sports titles weren't doing that well anyway and losing money with every release. Football was
NFL Fever was only for like if you had an Xbox though. That was an Xbox exclusive. NFL Fever was actually pretty fire. It was, the only problem was it was an Xbox exclusive. If they would have let that shit fly, if they would have let the PlayStation get a hold of NFL Fever, bro, we would have had some fire ass, bro. It would have been some fire ass competition, bro. Because NFL Fever was actually pretty fire.
Their only major success. So once they stopped winning with that, they simply just stopped trying to make the game better. But as we all know, or as all we should know, that as fate would have it, in 2004, EA pulled the biggest trump card of all time.
Yep.
And it is the move that doomed us to eternal mediocrity when it comes to NFL sim games.
Yeah, NFL.
Those snakes
NFL
somehow
Inside Drive
convinced
was
the
good, too.
NFL to give them an exclusive license to solely make NFL games. Thus, on some Thanos shit, made all other NFL games cease to exist and preventing any other new competitor to make an NFL game. And we knew that they did it.
EA was on that
because of
scumbag
NFL
shit.
2K. We all know, okay? They were absolutely terrified of NFL 2K5. EA didn't want a second coming of NFL Game Day putting them in second because everyone that played NFL 2K5 knew 2K was about to wipe the floor with EA moving forward. And EA fucked around and found out really truly on their own because when they priced Madden 05 at $50, NFL 2K5 was $20. And when people were discovering that the cheaper option was the better game overall, EA panicked and chopped their price damn near in half and made the game.
And that's what made NFL go exclusive. That's what made NFL go exclusive because they was about to do a deal with NFL Fever. NFL Fever would have been the only game we would have got going forward. But Microsoft was like, we not making an NFL game for all consoles. We not doing that. So because Microsoft didn't do that, they said, fuck it, let's just go to Madden. Because they was mad at Madden and EA. They was mad at Madden and EA because of these price drops. 2K had made that game $20. And then Madden dropped the price from $50 to $30. And when they dropped it to $30, the NFL had to pull both of them in like, hey, what the fuck y'all doing? Y'all fucking up the money. $50 is the price. We keep it there, and that's where it's gonna go. Y'all can do what y'all doing right now, but come next year, y'all gonna fuck around and find out. The NFL was just being greedy. That's the problem with the NFL. They just fucking greedy. Yeah, NBA Live being an exclusive NBA game would have been a fucking nightmare. Oh my God. I don't even want to think about that. But yeah, man, if Microsoft didn't turn down the deal and be like, yeah, we not making no NFL games for PlayStation and Nintendo. If they wasn't so like braggadocious about being a brand only exclusive, we would have only had NBA. We only would have had NFL Fever. Madden would have been dead. 2K would have been dead, and we would have just had NFL Fever. But niggas didn't want to go from console exclusive to a AAA game. So it is what it is. And we are where we are now. It is what it is, man.
$30 instead of the $50 originally, just so that they can compete with NFL 2K, because NFL 2K sold 1.7 million copies and it almost sold 2 million. Yeah, EA was absolutely terrified of 2K. And we can say what we want about 2K today, but those guys back in the early 2000s knew how to make a goddamn good sports title.
Yes, they did.
But let's stay on Sony in 99.
Now.
So we all know how EA finessed for an exclusive license with the NFL.
All your money,
there was also a lot of moving parts happening with these companies.
That's why I don't fuck with 2K.
EA actually lost their MLB license rights to 2K Sports in 2005 because of declining sales with their baseball games. EA was out of the baseball market, which left 2K Sports and Sony. Sony retired the 989 brand after 2005 and scrapped their whole entire sports gaming division by this time, and only really was producing baseball games with MLB, which ultimately turned into what we know now today as MLB The Show in 2006. So it was 2K and Sony making MLB games until 2K lost their license in 2014, and Sony became the only MLB sim game on the market.
Yeah,
so back to the question of what happened to 989 Sports.
I think what happened with 2K losing their MLB license was their game wasn't selling. The game wasn't pushing no units. The MLB was like, you not meeting our requirements, so we gonna have to let y'all go. And it was like, all right, fuck it, we just gonna do this basketball shit then. That's why they tried to bundle. That's why they tried so heavily to bundle MLB 2K13 with NBA 2K13. They tried to bundle it together to make you buy the game so that way they could get the sales up. But the MLB was like, nah, y'all ain't selling, so get the fuck up out of here. So, yep, that's how 2K lost their MLB license.
Well, they're technically still around, actually. They are just Sony Computer Entertainment, and they're making MLB The Show. So in conclusion, yes, 989 was a very short-lived developer studio, lasting about 10 years. And ultimately, they were outclassed. And I mean, honestly, all the companies got out-finessed by EA, just completely hoeing everybody and getting the exclusive license for NFL games. Yes, it was short-lived, but we can't overlook the impact that they had in the short time that they were competing against EA. Because honestly, I don't know how long it would have taken for the industry to push forward to 3D football games or just 3D sports games in general if it wasn't for 989 and Sony pushing the envelope and showing the power of the PlayStation 1.
Facts.
So they're very integral to what gaming is today. I mean, I'm pretty sure we would have got there. I'm not saying that we would have never, but I mean,
it would have took a
got
while.
there pretty fucking
took
faster than I think we would have if we just left EA leading the way with NFL games. But that's it for this video.
Nah, because 2K would have given them a run for their money. They would have definitely had to step up if it was just them and 2K.
You are a real MVP. And again, you guys hit that like button, slap that subscribe button. If you haven't, I mean, if you made it to the end of the video, you might as well hit the like button and the subscribe button. But until next time.
Alrighty, so yeah, man, that's yeah, man. 989 Sports, man. No comp is the reason why sports games suck. Pretty much, bro, we don't have variety no more, man. There's no variety in the basketball genre. There's no variety in the football genre. There's no variety in the baseball genre. The soccer genre, they got competition, but I mean, you gotta be into soccer though. Like, we in America, niggas not into soccer. So yeah, man, it does suck. It truly does suck how there's no variety anymore in none of the sports in the sports game genre anymore. I wish there was more. I wish we could go back to that PlayStation 2 era where there was just a multitude of games, and not even just games from other companies, games within the same companies. Like, yo, instead of playing NBA Live or 2K, whatever, you had NBA Street, you had NBA Ballers. There was just so much fucking variety. NBA Jam. Facts. You would have like 3 to 4 or 5 NBA, MLB, or NFL games. Shit, it was crazy back then. Crazy times back then, man. I wish we could go back to that, but sadly, we'll never get back to that. And I've come to terms to accept that, which is why I just go back and play the classics now. That's why emulation is cool, man. Emulation is fine by me. I don't care, man. I do emulation all the time, bro. My Xbox is just solely for emulation purposes at this point. That's all I do is go back and play old games and have fun with them. But yeah, man, that's just gonna about do it for this one, man. Let me know what y'all think down in the description below, man. How y'all feel about 989 Sports? Y'all remember 989 Sports? Anybody in the comment section below, let me know. Till then, I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.